Hello YouTube, happy Sunday. I hope everybody is well. It is a beautiful day today. Look at that. That is blue sky. It's like the middle of April and finally we have summer weather. I am so happy. The sunburn is not a good look, but it'll go down and it'll become a nice tan, so happy days. Today I am going to be showing you a new bike that I picked up recently from Kawasaki, and I'm just going to do a real quick walk around. It's a new ZX4 RR. I have my GoPro, I have my little cameras, I will do some riding for you, but I wanted to show you the bike first because this is amazing. It's actually amazing. I am so excited by it. ZX4RR came out the end of last year, early this year. Sorry, that's really annoying. The bike actually warrants sports boots. I thought that was going to be a look, but actually it's noisy. So it's a 400cc inline 4. This is the performance edition, so it comes with this lovely thing here and also that and that. And straight off the bat, what I love about this bike is it's a little bike that acts, looks and feels like a big bike. I will talk more about why that's important to me in a minute, but we'll just go around it to the soundtrack of my cities squeaking away. It's dirty already. I should have done this when I first got it because obviously we've been through a few puddles since then and it's filthy already. But the nice green colour kind of disguises the dirt. Got some bug splats too. Ugh. So we are going to go and get our photo taken by my favourite roadside photographer, and we're going to go and try and find some fast roads and just enjoy this because I'm sure this won't last long. Okay, we are on small roads, so I wanted to find a suitable place to do a walk around. It's quite busy at the moment because it's a nice day and it's also the weekend. Everybody is out. This was a good little spot. Okay. Let's find our way back to the big roads. While relaying as much information as I can remember about the bike. So it's a 400cc inline 4. I think it has 76 brake horsepower. So in my mind that makes it A2 compliant, but I've actually been told off for saying that. So I think it has to be a lot less than that to be an A2 bike, but you can restrict a bigger bike to make it A2 legal, basically. So as far as I'm concerned, this is A2 restrictable, but it's not an A2 bike, but it's under, I don't know, I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but it's under the threshold and you're allowed to restrict it. I think the problem with this one is, I'm not sure if there are restrictor kits available yet, so I'm going to say that this is A2 restrictable, because it is not going to take long for somebody to make a restrictor kit for it. And then you can ride it on an A2 license. So I'll just clear that up right away. It is not A2 legal until you restrict it. It is 76 brake horsepower, but I'm going to call it an A2 bike. And the reason that I like this so much is because I had to have a restricted bike when I passed my test. I passed my test before all of the A1 came in, but what I had to do is I had to have a bike restricted to 33 brake horsepower for 2 years after I passed my test, and I passed my test when I was 18, and I got myself a Ninja 300 which had just come out, and I was excited. It didn't actually matter, I could buy and restrict any bike I wanted, there weren't those rules back then. But the problem that I had was that I couldn't insure anything big. I couldn't get the 600 that I wanted and restrict it because I couldn't insure it. So I got a Ninja 300, which was kind of the answer to that. And I had all of these expectations when I moved up from my 125 that I would get a bigger bike, and I was so excited about so many things. I didn't really understand what I was excited about, but I was excited to get a bike that felt like a big bike. And I bought this Ninja 300 thinking, you know, that it would be that, and it wasn't. It was effectively a small bike with a slightly bigger engine, and it felt like a small bike. there was not really any impact from this bike, and I was disappointed by it. And I had it for I think a year before I was finally able to insure a 600, and then I got an R6 and that had all the big bike things on it that I wanted. This, had this been available, this has all of the things that I wanted. It has the noise, it has the personality, it has all of the things that do make a difference, but at the time I didn't understand what they were for. I just wanted them because I see them on big bikes. It has twin front discs, it's got a wider rear tyre, it makes little exhaust bangs when you rev it. It ticks off all of those boxes that 18-year-old me was so excited to tick off and couldn't with the little bike that I had at the time, if that makes sense. This feels like a big bike with a slightly smaller engine instead of a small bike with a slightly bigger engine. But what I also love about this is present day me is still really enjoying it. Because it acts like a big bike, I can ride it the way that I would want to ride a 600 or even my bike, but because it's smaller and a bit less threatening, I actually feel like I can try my hardest to ride this bike quickly and not really suffer any consequences. A lot of the time it will act and make noises like it is going faster than it actually is, because it revs really high. You see there, it goes up to 15,000 revs, and then it's the red line, and then it red lines all the way up to 18,000 before I assume you blow the engine up or something. And it sounds amazing. Like, this is not the road to do this on, but we're gonna do it anyway. Isn't that just really satisfying? You can absolutely rag it in the lower gears, and on another smaller bike you wouldn't do that, you wouldn't want to do that, but on this it does it, and it performs. It makes all the noises, it does all the things, it's amazing, it's so satisfying. It's like you get to 10,000 RPM and the bike just kind of shifts its attitude ever so slightly and it wants to run with you, and it does. The thing that I would say, obviously it is a 400cc engine, it is a little bit smaller, so it takes a second to get there. Sometimes the noise will come before the action, and what I noticed immediately is that when you pull away you have to be very gentle on the throttle, otherwise it revs high, it makes a lot of noise, but it doesn't pull away, and then you just embarrass yourself. So you have to learn to be gentle on the throttle to avoid that, but it doesn't do anything, it just screams at you. But then it also behaves itself in the lower revs, in the higher gears. If you want to just kind of ride around slowly, it's a little bit lumpy, but it'll do it and it's fine. And I guess if you're riding around town and you don't want to draw a lot of attention to yourself, it'll do that. You set it in 4th and 5th gear, it's fine, it'll do it at 30. I do not think this bike would struggle to keep up with its larger engined friends. Apparently the top speed on this is 150 miles an hour, and I'm gonna say I believe them. Obviously I'm not going to try and do that here because it's legal, but it will get up there. Shame. That is a real shame. That was good. You would not be able to do that on Svati. 10 out of 10. That was good. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I didn't want to end up back on this road though. I feel like I do this road too many times. The bike weighs 180 kilograms. I think it's either 180 or 190, something like that. So it's actually not that light, considering my Lita sports bike is 200, but it makes up for that by being small. Now I say small, it doesn't look small from a distance, and when you're stood next to it, it doesn't look small. What it is it's got a low seat height. It's got an 800mm seat height, which is tiny. I'm 5'7", and not only can I flat foot this, but my knees are bent when I'm flat footing it. It is so low, but when you're sat on it, it doesn't look small. I don't know if that's because it's bright green, so it just kind of takes up more in your vision or something. It's just like an optical illusion that the bike looks bigger. Maybe it's just the shape of the fairings, I don't know. It doesn't look small, so don't worry about that, but it is low. But I think what that helps is that when you're riding it, it doesn't feel like it's far away from the ground. When you go around a corner, it doesn't feel like you're having to corner as much because you're lower. And so it's, sorry, these things, they make sense when I say them, but I don't know if they make sense to you. But basically, it doesn't feel like you're cornering as hard as you are. So it's a confidence booster in that respect. I feel like I've got the chicken strips down on this already. And I haven't ridden fast this year. You know, the roads have dried out. You're supposed to be being sensible. This bike does not want me to be sensible. I do not feel like I need to be sensible on this one. It is a confidence boosting little thing. And I love that. What I don't love about this is probably like the one thing I really don't like about this is I don't like the riding position. But I know a lot of you would like the riding position because it's comfortable. Basically, I think a combination of the bars being a little bit higher and also the seat being low makes it quite an upright sitting bike. It doesn't feel like the sporty riding position that I would want. Coming from a sporty 125 and wanting to get a sports bike, this is a fantastic option, but like a lot of the kind of A2 friendly bikes, it doesn't have the sporty riding position that you want. It's a little bit upright. I guess it's so that it's more comfortable and appeals to a wider audience, but for those very, very specific people that want to ride a sports bike, it doesn't quite tick that box. Obviously you can tuck in, as you can with any bike, and you feel like you need to tuck in when you accelerate because you're so upright, but when you're just riding around, it's upright. Sorry, it is. Not as upright as like a GS or anything, but you know, and I don't like that. When I had my Ninja 300, that was exactly the same, and I was disappointed by it. And I asked a lot of different people if there was something I could do about it, if there was a way of, like, I don't know, putting clip-ons on it to bring them down. But this is quite close to where the bars are already, so you can't really do anything about it. I've got a suspicious-looking BMW behind me, so I'm not gonna pin it here. I'm just gonna see if he tries to go in front of me, because it's a sunny Sunday at the beginning of the season, and I know the unmarked police are going to be out and about living their best lives, so we're not going to encourage that. We're just going to behave on this particular road, which is a magnet for police and trouble. Okay, he's fallen way back. Why would you tailgate someone at a 30 and then, like, I'm not even doing 60? Like, that is suspicious behaviour. We don't like that. So these bikes start at the moment from, I think it's like £8,700 or thereabout for the standard one. So that's the ZX4 RR. Apparently there is an R available, but it's not available in the UK, so I don't know anything about that. So this is the RR, just the standard model, £8,700, and then this is the performance model, which I think comes in closer to 10,000. So that's a lot of money for if you were buying this as an A2 bike. But I was thinking about this because this bike is so capable compared to, you know, its bigger brother. I haven't ridden the ZX6, but I don't think me personally is going to notice a huge amount of difference other than perhaps like initial acceleration speeds and also styling, riding position, physical aspects of it. So I imagine if you were on an A2 license and you bought this, you invested that much money into buying this bike, you would potentially want to skip out on the 600 phase. And in doing that, you would save yourself a little bit of money. You could go from a 125, you could get this, you could spend your 10 grand, and then you could jump up to a litre bike if that was what you wanted to do next, or maybe this would just kind of be a good second bike. And then the other audience that I think is going to absolutely adore this bike is the audience, and everybody knows someone who says, oh, I had a litre sports bike, but I was going to kill myself on it, so I got myself an upright bike. Which is, you know, other than your top speeds, is going to do the same amount of damage. So I wonder if that audience would get one of these, and this bike would trick them into thinking they're going really, really fast, and it could go really, really fast. It'd take a little bit more work to do it, but the result would be what they wanted. It would slow them down a little bit, but they'd have the same experience, and it might even teach them to be a better rider. Who knows? So I'm expecting to see a lot of these on the road soon. I haven't seen one yet, but I reckon their time is coming. Wow, it is busy. I want to get my photo taken up and down this road, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. It's like one of my only chances to get photographs of me actually riding the bike is to work out where Thomas is and go past him a few times, but it is busy today. Another crucial little detail, almost forgot to tell you guys, but it's going to come in handy here, so I've remembered to bring it up. This has a really, really good turning circle. I reckon with a bit of practice I could do a U-turn on this. Look at that. I mean, yeah, you'd be able to do that on a normal bike. That was embarrassing, but normally I would be waddling back and forth on that junction, but not on this one. Anyway, I think I have given you plenty for today. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go past him one more time, because I feel like every time I've gone past him something's gone wrong, so we're going to do it again. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the bike. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any opinions so far. You will definitely be seeing a little bit more of this one. I have it for another week or so, and I'm definitely excited to spend a lot more time on it. But until then, I hope you guys are enjoying, I hope you guys are enjoying this beautiful weather, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.